It is the solo laners from G2 that are so far behind. Just notice the difference between Whippo, Nemesis, and Wonder and Caps. Props to Jankos for actually staying relatively even with Broxah, even throughout this entire chaos. And the bot lane is kind of the saving grace right now for G2 because they've been free farming and they've been picking up a lot of plates. So it's still not over yet for G2. We always have to bear that in mind. Even though Fnatic have full control and they're the ones that get to dictate a lot of the plays around the map, what's important for G2 is, as you say, Frost, they buy time and get their solo laners back and relevant in the game.
And it is a perfect example of that right there. The fact that they were able to trade objectives. You know, Wonder getting all of that free time up into the top lane does take down that top lane tower. Bot, though, is dead.
Yeah, Whippo just kills Caps in the bot lane. That was Broxah lending a helping hand, and Caps has died 6 times this game. There's the final chapter used in the mid lane, trying to stun up. Hillisang gets the hook onto Wonder, pulls him back underneath the tower. Death marks the spot, but it's not enough damage as Hillisang just has to run away. Nemesis now caught out by Jankos, has to flash the wall. Hillisang trying to clear out the wave as much as he can, because here's Broxah, the knockback on Wonder, but Wonder dodging around with the Vanguard's edge and back in. 2 kills to Fnatic. Whippo on the chase here as well, as the battle rages in the Fnatic jungle. Whippo coming in, Jankos trying to get onto Nemesis perks, almost dying up towards the top side as he will go down. Wonder dies, Jankos dies, Perks dies, Mickey dies, and G2 lose 4.
And Fnatic get themselves the delayed ace. This was just pure greed from the side of G2 because of this play. Caps dies in the bot lane. Fnatic can move from bot up towards mid, and G2 are just staying way too long.
But it's also the fact that G2 thought that they could burst quick enough that they could make the most of the fact that Fnatic sent those resources bottom. But here's where the greed gets real.
Yeah, they just stick around way too long. They don't respect the rotation from Broxah and Whippo, and just all 4 members, they can't get out of this situation. Beautiful ultimate from the side of Broxah. And G2, they just collapse under the sheer weight of Fnatic.
Also, credit to Fnatic's ward line. If you go ahead and take a look at the minimap, you can see that line, that straight path from bottom to mid lane has been completely lit up by Fnatic. Chances are that G2 might have assumed that they went for the reset in the back and didn't know exactly where they were when they were transversing from bot to mid.
Okay, let's take a breath. 18 minutes in, 6,000 gold lead for Fnatic. You've got Duskblade already finished on towards Pike. Hillisang in such a strong position. Nemesis has his Trinity Force, has a Wit's End to back that up, so that's a bit more AD. We're worried about the ability power damage coming out from Fnatic. They have some physical as well. Hillisang jumps across the wall. That's greedy. The final chapter comes out. We'll root him up, but he's invisible at the moment. Gets taken out by Caps. Broxah now in the front line as Caps just dodges forward. Mickey healing him up, but he tries to dodge away. He's rooted in place. Stunned up by Whippo. Broxah jumps the wall now, knocks Perks back, but they can't quite find the connection. And Fnatic's just pushing forward their line here. Wonder slowed up with the red card.
Ultimately a 1-for-1 between the 2 teams, but Fnatic are the ones that have priority right now. They have a minion wave alive, that tower is very low. Can be a little difficult to see.
Whippo just flashes in and takes down Perks! Kills him with the Ruthless Predator, and Fnatic are hungry for blood. They're on the hunt. Destiny comes out, but Nemesis chasing onto Caps. He took his spot. He'll take his life. Fnatic are destroying G2.
It is a solo queue game. That Renekton is 9-2-2 at 19 minutes in this game. He has Black Cleaver and Spear of Shojin complete. His ability to 5v5 when he pops his ultimate and gets into the middle of it, he's going to get multiple stuns off. This guy does ridiculous damage.
The crowd is erupting right now as Fnatic are truly obliterating G2. The mid game is fully in their control. This is what a snowball looks like. This is a little aggressive from Hillisang. He dives in without any vision. He gets collapsed on by G2. But this is when the misplay comes out. Mickey jumps off as Caps goes out. This leaves Mickey in an awkward position as he then gets stunned up by Whippo, and that interrupts the dash. Wonder then can't get into the fight, and then we start to see some of the poke come out from Nemesis, from Reckless, and then Whippo just dives underneath the tower, takes the remaining health bar from Perks, and there's just nothing he can do about it.
Also key there that he got the summoner, so Perks only relying on E.
Flawless duet as well. Like, that is absolutely beautiful play from Whippo, and the chase down onto Caps in the end is incredible. It almost feels like G2 are shell-shocked. They're not used to being this far behind at this point in the game, so they're making plays they usually would, but Fnatic are just answering.
You say that, this is a mirror of what happened the last time they met. And the moment with which G2 turned the game around was their base defense.
That's true.
Fnatic dived the tower. Their siege is ultimately what faltered the last time around. And you look at this comp again, their siege is not the best. You're kind of relying on a Baron and splitting up the map to be able to successfully break into the base of G2. And so G2 are kind of relying on that fact. They're relying on the fact that Fnatic can still make mistakes in this game.
And in short, it is full steam ahead for Fnatic is what it
Yes.
feels like. Whereas G2, again, have to pick their moments perfectly or it's game over.
Second Infernal of the game. Hillisang straight onto Perks, gets the slow. Perks will try and jump away. Hillisang almost out. There's the Destiny in and the teleport as well. Fnatic won the fight.
Good
Perks
fight.
is dumped. Second kill as well. Follows up. Reckless takes down Mickey. Jankos trying to get away, but the gold card is locked in. And there's laser sights on Jankos. Fnatic get 3. Caps on the backside of this Baron, maybe trying to play spoiler as Fnatic look for the objective.
With the jungler dead, that should be a free Baron, and the objective we were just talking about that Fnatic would want gets delivered to them on a silver platter. G2 falter, Fnatic continue to stomp.
I mean, barring some miracle, I think that this might be it. Fnatic just ripped G2 apart in this best of one.
G2 have been miraculous in the past, but at the moment, Fnatic have 3 times as many kills as them. They have an 11,000 gold lead. They've got double Infernal, they've got Cloud, and they have the Baron. I want to tell everyone watching at home and everyone here in the studio after this game, Caps and Reckless will be joining Quickshot and Endo on post-game lobby, but let's have a look at this replay.
So, Hillisang catches out Perks, and then a Nemesis ultimate along with the TP are very quick to follow. Fnatic collapse as a unit almost immediately, and with the Ragnarok disappearing from Jankos, it was easy for Fnatic to know, take the jungler out, there's no smite, that's a free Baron, that means that the game is pretty much ours for the taking.
I think it is about then shaking expectations. Fnatic as a playstyle in the community are talked about being kind of this lumbering team that they hit you with a team fight, then they roll you over. This Fnatic is matching tit for tat against G2 style. They are playing that creative, aggressive, quick tempo game.
And the only team that could do this against G2 was SKT. Whenever they found an early game lead at MSI, those were the games where G2 were losing. In order to beat this team, it showcased that not only do you have to get an early lead, but you have to hold it, you have to retain it, or G2 find a way back in, and Fnatic have done that flawlessly. Yes, they still have to take the Nexus, but the way they're playing this early game is phenomenal.
And a lot of that falls on the back of Broxah as well. There were question marks in the offseason as to whether he would be the starting jungler with Dan coming into the team, but he has shown us across the last 3 splits that he is still one of the best, if not the best jungler in the LEC right now. He set his team up for success so well. He was all over the map in the early game, and he's pushed G2 back so well.
And now we see the classic Hillisang split push with the Baron. He does this when he's on support. Now he's one of the big carries. He's generating so much pressure as Fnatic split up the map.
Got the Tiamat, he has the mobility, he has the Baron buff, like you said, he can sit there and then very quickly collapse to his team if need be.
Inhibitor tower going to fall here in the bottom lane. 23 minutes in, G2's base is broken. The inhibitor short to follow, you have to feel, and G2 unaware of how to defend here. They're looking at keeping their players around mid. Fnatic take down the inhibitor 24 minutes in. They have broken open all of G2's base, and now G2 have to find a way to defend.
I mean, I guess the nice thing is that if Fnatic don't end it here, I'll hold it, because maybe they do.
There comes the Destiny, Perks flashing away, but caught in the stun card and the follow-up! Just deliver the kills to Fnatic. Caps trying to dodge around here, but Hillisang got the chase. The stun card connects, and now Mickey is fed to the wolves. Fnatic take a 3rd kill.
They basically opened up their mouth and Broxah said, here comes the airplane, and just spoon-fed it in.
Fnatic dominated the early game. They ripped through the solo laners of G2, and they are looking to establish themselves as the current best team in the LEC.
Caps said G2 wanted the 18-0. Fnatic said not today. The Nexus tower falls. Wonder trying to do what he can to defend. He's down now. It's only Jankos left alive, and no one can survive versus this Fnatic team. They're on to the Nexus. Jankos and Perks trying to defend.
Perks still alive. They get the kill.
With bow down, it's all on Perks. Needs to get the damage in. It's Nemesis and Reckless. Teleport coming behind them now as Perks goes in. Mickey stepping forward. Reckless so low. The Nexus not going to fall, and Caps has the flank. G2, the base defense holds once more, but Caps almost gets clapped by his former teammate. He's almost getting down to the minions. Perks dodging around. Broxah goes golden for the moment. Can't quite get the kill on Perks. G2 able to survive for the time being.
But that said, they lose their mid. It's just the last mid inhib standing. No Nexus towers, 2 open lanes, and a mountain dragon about to spawn.
Surely there is no way G2 can come back into this game. They have an exposed Nexus, they have 2 2 inhibs down. Fnatic have a Twisted Fate, and he's an AD Twisted Fate who's just gonna melt through that Nexus if he
They
gets an
have Hilly
opportunity.
on Pike.
They have Hilly on Pike, but yes, this was a great last-ditch defense from the side of G2. Jankos just runs in. Great burst damage coming out from Perks as they obliterate the front line, and with little mana left on the side of Fnatic and low health bars, they've clearly overcommitted here. So their Baron goes down, Cass gets a good flank off, and G2 get to buy a little bit more time.
I think the only thing that can be said is that surely there's no way Fnatic lose this, but G2 will make them work for it.
Oh man, what a great game. But what made the last game so monumental was the way in which G2
Hylissang.
came back into the game.
Just
but
do it. That would be amazing.
Fnatic are making this game so much more one-sided.
So I do want to point out the vision that G2 have actually placed down here. They, like Vedius and I, are talking about Twisted Fate and Hylissang. They need to make sure that they have vision that not only protects them to get access to their immediate waves, because let's be honest, they cannot leave their base, but it's also then checking so that no one slips in underneath them to get into a backdoor for the Nexus.
Well, Hylissang's going for it.
Gold lead. Hylissang going for it, as you say. The Destiny comes in as well, and Nemesis is
There
on
it
the
is.
Nexus, looking for the win here. Fnatic do to G2 what G2 have done so many times before. They obliterate them.
Fnatic with a dominating performance.
Hit, tower taken.
Shall we?
Always bring bro.
Tremendo! Beautiful! No one will stand in my way. None of it! Up we go! Let's use all the colors. Tremendo! Shall we?
Heroes always die.
Playtime's over.
Give up now!
Illuminate.
shall show them what it is to fall. I shall show them what it is to fall. Darkness rises!
Up we go! Tremendo!
I know what lurks in the shadows.
swiftly now. Shall we? No one will stand in my way.
Impending doom. Exciting, isn't it?
Tremendo!
I shall show them what it is to fall.
Playtime. Playtime's over.
I shall show them what it is to fall.